Mages of Mystralia is an adventure game where you build and cast your own spells. Using these spells, you'll fight monsters and solve puzzles, all with your own brand of spell combinations.
You play as the young mage Zia, who has only just discovered she has magical powers. But you're living in a world where magic has been outlawed, which is bad news for a youngster who can't control her powers yet.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a worst-case scenario. Luckily though, you're picked up by another mage, who turns out to be your mentor. He sends you on a journey to learn how to control your magic and use it for good. Although, I'm not sure why he immediately leaves you in the woods by yourself to try and figure things out when he's supposed to be the one teaching you.
Yeah, that's bad mentoring 101. After you find your spell book, you're ready to start learning spells. And here's where the fun of the game really lies.
You have a number of different elemental powers, and you can change their behaviour using various augmentations. You do this by rearranging augmentation blocks around a base elemental power within your spellbook. This creates a new spell, and each block changes how that particular spell is going to act.
Crafting new spells and testing them out was thrilling, and I liked how you could add your own creativity into things. You could add movement to fireballs to shoot them, or add a right-hand turn to make them curve. You can try and be careful to create something specific, but I think it's more fun to throw a bunch of things together and see what happens.
Come what may. It gives you a rich library of options with which to puzzle and fight with, but unfortunately I found the combat rather clunky. The auto-aim system doesn't do enough to link your attacks in the right direction, meaning there's a lot of awkward moments of turning in circles to try and get the correct angle. This made trying to hit anything super frustrating.
Yeah, and this actually extends beyond combat into the puzzles as well. Scattered throughout the world, there are fire urns, which you need to light to unlock doors or hidden treasure. For many, you'll need to light a few within a short time span for it to work. But with the awkward aiming, I found a lot of these really hard to complete. There were some that I just had to walk away from.
Well, the game is designed to have you come back to areas once you've unlocked more spells, so it's possible that those puzzles will be easy peasy lemon squeezy later on.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Darren, are you okay? You don't sound like yourself.
God, I had a small upgrade to my linguistics parameters to allow for more slang. It's been quite the ripper lately.
Oh, sounds tore up from the floor up, Darren. Once you unlock a few more spells, things do get better, but still it never really feels satisfying. In fact, I just started running away to avoid having to engage in the combat at all. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not fight.
Yeah, that looked real brave. They'll call you Bajo the Brave. The game does a good job of drip-feeding you new bits and pieces with which to craft your spells. Just when you think you can't get past an area, voila! Here's a new trick for your trick bag.
In many ways, the design of this game feels a little bit too old school, such as the low health alarm that will not stop beeping. I know I'm on low health, I don't need the beeps! Also, the boss battles have that rather retro structure of being in a locked-off arena where the boss cycles through different attack patterns, giving you small windows within which you can deal damage. I don't think every game needs to do something new and fresh, but parts of this were really frustrating and felt a bit too dated to me.
Yeah, and I found the graphics to be pretty lackluster. They're simple and effective in their cartoony style, but I really disliked the human character design.
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To be fair, I think all fleshy creatures look rather strange.
Oh, tell us what you really think, Darren.
There were other things about this game that bothered me too. For example, you can't change the camera angle, so sometimes you're stuck being unable to properly see where you're going or what you're doing. Preheat the oven and pop it in for another 20, because this game is undercooked.
Rad, you should never put non-food items in an oven.
Saying it's undercooked is a metaphor, Bajo, a linguistic device in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action where it's not literally applicable. Metaphors are often used in good writing.
Speaking of good writing, I really didn't like the writing in this game. Characters felt shallow with no real motivation behind what they were doing. It was just a device to move people from A to B. Which is a shame because there wasn't even a good story to pull me through.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I didn't like the writing much either. I felt like they tried to make some of the characters humorous or sassy, but in the end they just ended up seeming a bit mean. And I don't like mean people.
No meanies allowed.
No. Overall, Mages of Mystralia does lack polish, but even so, I really enjoyed this game, and I think it's because all of that spell building is so fun, so I'm actually going to give it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, the spell building is definitely the best part of the game, but it's just encased in a kind of awkward, clunky exterior, so I'm giving it 2 out of 5 rubber chickens.